Well, hi everybody. Welcome to the 15th episode of the Divine Miss. 15 weeks. Can you believe it? Hi everybody. I'm Tina Marie. I am a love coach and I work with women who have had an awakening of some description and help them move from a lens of fear through to a lens of love so they can see all the infinite potentiality and possibilities for themselves and for their lives. And today I am joined, as I am always every week, by my divine co-host, Mr. Curti David Perriman, who works with magnificent men in New Zealand and around the world in helping them realize the divine masculine isn't something to be frightened of, it's something to be embraced and held wholeheartedly. But I will allow him to introduce himself. But before he does that, today we're talking about clarity. So when we have dawning realizations or awakenings to certain situations and people and places that maybe don't serve us any longer. So it will be an interesting conversation today. So hold on to your hats and let's get going. Mr. David Perriman, good morning.
That's so easy to throw the ball to me, right?
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much for the short introduction, Tina. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our 15th. Yeah, really, we can't believe it's already 15 episode we recorded. And it has been a journey for us, for both of us, I would say. Like, we have been riding the waves. And with the upcoming full moon, we all know how the wave is it's getting higher, right? The height of it. And it's like going with the flow, trying to learn all the techniques we talk about, because sometimes we forget what we talk about, what we share. Because people
We're
are coming
human.
back and people are coming back and saying, like, oh yeah, you said this in this episode, and Tina mentioned this, and I'm like, I think I need to go back and listen again. Because by the time we are recording, it's like 2 weeks away when it come out, and it's like a bit confusing for us. So for our first time listeners, I'm Kirti Deva Perman, or Deva. I'm a holistic life coach, and like Tina said, I help men to embrace their divine masculine. Also, I work with women sometimes because, as we know, women and men, we all have our masculine and feminine energy. So it's about balancing those. And I am the founder of the Hero's Mystic. So it's to embrace your inner hero on the hero's journey, like I like to call it. And we have fun conversation every week with my co-host Tina. And like she said, it's all about clarity. And she asked me an interesting question a couple of days. Oh no, sorry. Yesterday, actually.
Yesterday on a voice note.
And she was, I guess, walking, and she had some clarity at that moment. And she just asked me, what have I gained on clarity? And I was thinking about it, and I was like, that's a deep question. We better have a conversation about it. And I will turn the question to her, but no, I'm just kidding.
Hey, it's a tennis match, apparently, when we play. But seeing as I got a lot of airtime last week, I feel that it is only fair and equitable for you to start us off this week in the clarity that you've gained, and when those moments of clarity come for you, and do you act on them? That's the big thing.
Yeah, the last one is no. No, I'm kidding. No, but it has been a journey for me, and thank you for asking that question. But I thought of something to start off a bit differently for our 15th, if you're open to this. I wanted to start off on a meditation that came to me this morning based on an experience that happened on last Friday. So I will invite everyone, if wherever you are, if you can just stop for the next few minutes, maybe, I don't know how long it's going to be. You can just stop whatever you're doing. If you find my voice too sexy to follow, that's fine as well. Or just go with the flow.
Oh, and please, ladies and gents, if you are driving a vehicle, maybe pause the recording, come back to it, because we don't want you to move on into the ether whilst you're driving a car. It would not be a good space to be in. So just a little side safety mother note.
That's a good reminder. So it's like, I think they always put it on those meditation videos, like if you're
Don't
operating
operate heavy machinery.
machinery, totally stop. And I would say like your machinery right now is your mind and imagination. So let's go with that. So I will invite all of you, once you stop at all your activity, just to sit and be, like my friend like to say, like be with you for the next few minutes. Take that minute for you, like take the next few minutes for you. So if you can just close your eyes, even you, Tina.
You said something prophetic, so I needed to write it down. Remember it.
We take a deep breath and you just hold onto the breath, and whatever is going on, any tension, just release it through your mouth, like exhale. Another deep breath. Hold and release the breath with the mouth. Now I want you to imagine that you're walking on the beach, maybe your favorite beach, or if you prefer to walk near a lake, that will be interesting, like near water. Just visualize it. But most importantly, I want you to look around. It's just you and you. Just look around if there are any birds singing, or if you're hearing any sound, or if you're feeling any sensation like the wind in your face, or if you're walking on grass or the sand, for example. Just feel it. And every step that you're taking is making you feel more and more relaxed. And just be with that moment. Just stay in that moment. And take another deep breath and release all the tension that you feel for your body. Just release. And right now, I want you to imagine that there's a mist over the lake or the sea coming to you, coming towards you. Just imagine that. And maybe when you're seeing the mist, it's reminding you of horror movies or something, and it's like those sounds, and it's making you feel scared. But I want you to feel all those feelings, like hear all those sounds. Whatever you're feeling, just accept it. And just let those thoughts come to you, accept it, and release it on your exhale. And the mist is coming towards you, closer and closer. And right now, you are into the mist. And I want you to think of the mist as your maybe negative thoughts. Maybe it's the situation you're right in. Because maybe you're feeling lost at this moment. Maybe you're feeling all over the place and you can't see. You can't see in front of you. You can't see anything. The beach or the lake has disappeared from your vision. And you're looking around. Imagine that you're spinning 360. Don't feel dizzy. Just go with it. And then it's like those thoughts are coming to you. Maybe scared, feeling lost, powerless. Nothing is under your control. And in that moment, just take a deep breath and feel that the spirit is coming for you. By spirit, you can call it divine or whatever higher power you feel that you resonate with. It's just telling you to stop thinking. And in that moment, you just stop the thoughts. You have that power over the thoughts. And the mist is coming thinner and thinner. And slowly, when you're focusing on that spirit, or maybe higher self, it's telling you something. It's telling you to focus on your light, on your inner light. And slowly, the mist is going away, just like your thoughts. It's just you and the light, maybe the lake or the sea, wherever you are. You're feeling safe, protected. The mist is going away. And I want you to imagine like whatever situation you were thinking before, it has dissipated, it has gone away, just like the mist. And you have a clear vision of what you want. It's like you're seeing the future you. Maybe you're feeling stronger, more confident. Maybe you're feeling free, happy, joyful. You're having fun, dancing around. Whatever it is, it's like the mist, the same speed it came to you, it just vanished like that. In that moment, you're feeling more relaxed and you're embracing that true self. You're embracing that new you. And you're taking a deep breath and releasing and just going with that light. You feel that joy, happiness is coming through. And you're thanking the universe, the light, the higher power, the guides, whoever is present in that moment. Thank you for protecting you, for always taking care of you, for making that situation or that feeling disappear, vanish just like the mist. It's gone. And you can see the blue sky. It's the sun shining over your face. It's lighting you up. And maybe you're dancing to your favorite song in that moment. And you're jumping around, you're enjoying that. And that's your new you. And you can always come back to that moment, to that feeling, to that place, because that's your special place where you feel protected, safe, loved, guided. And if you have any message coming through, if you want to take the next few minutes, just stop the recording and write and free write whatever is coming for you, because the spirit or your guides are talking to you in that moment, because you're relaxed, you're joyful, and you can actually listen. And they are thanking you for taking that moment to listen to them, not running around after the goals, but actually connecting and being with you. And whenever you feel ready, you can slowly come back to now. Thank you everyone for taking that moment for you. And I hope it really helps you out to gain a bit more clarity, which is today's topic.
Thank you. Feeling very light and divine. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So life imitates art. Is that how it's working for you?
It's like this happened to me on Friday when I was walking on the beach. Like it was blue sky, right? And it was like no clouds at all, no clouds coming through. And I was watching the sea, and all of a sudden that mist just came out of the blue, like, and it just came over the sea. It was creepy at first because I could hear like those horror movies, like the mist is coming and you can't see anything. Like you can't see anything. And I in that moment I chose like, no, I'm going to stand where I was because I knew the beach, like distance, all of that. And I chose to stand here and say, okay, I'm going to trust the universe, right? And I'm going to trust like whether I can't see forward, like the big picture, but I can see my next step, right?
Mm.
And I waited like for a few minutes. I think it took at least 4 minutes that we were completely engulfed, like in that mist. Like you couldn't see. Like there were people next to me, like maybe 20 meters next to me. I couldn't see them. It's until like they came nearer and you can see like outline of dog running, but then it's until where they came like just in front of you, like, oh, it's a dog. It's
It's a
like
little
that.
bit like Harry Potter, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
people coming through the mist and,
Mm.
just appearing
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
And that's how when you told me, when I was telling you about clarity, that's what I was thinking, because sometimes we don't see the big picture, and that's how the universe is, right? We think like we
Always.
want that blue sky, or the sun is shining. It's always like fun to be, like always enjoying, and then all of a sudden life hits you just like the mist did,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't see anything at one moment, and it's like spinning around you. And that's why I said like the spinning is like, I want people to imagine like you're looking around and you can't really see anything.
Yeah.
How
Or
did
you
that
can't
make you
sense a
feel?
direction in which to go, right? That's the
Mm-hmm.
whole thing, isn't it? That you like,
Yeah.
there's always options.
Mm.
There's always paths that you can take, but sometimes there is that confusion. There isn't clarity as to which is going to be
Yeah.
the best one.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like you say, it's just taking a step forward.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily choosing any path, but it's taking what feels good to me now.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
may not feel good next week. It may not feel good in 2 hours.
Mm.
But if it feels good now, take that step and then reassess
Yeah.
and then keep going. Because
and
that's how
and
we gain clarity, isn't it?
yeah, and I think like asking people like, because I was looking for like podcasts or YouTube video on clarity, right? There are so many self-help, like Brandon Burchard, for example, got, if you want like a 1 hour masterclass on clarity, there's one on YouTube, right? And there's a 1 hour plus. It's 1 hour 13 minutes actually. Yeah, I know the timing. But it's like, if you want clarity at that level, you can go for it, because he has all these like assessment scores or daily score that he does, but that's his style of doing it to gain clarity. Sorry. And then you have like Tony Robbins as well, who say like clarity is power, right? And what do you focus on?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like Mary Folio, who is a friend of Gabby Bernstein. Is like, she says like do a meditation and free write, and that's another technique as well. But there's one important thing she said, and I feel that I resonate with that message of all the three that I just mentioned. Because even with Tony Robbins one, it's about like where your energy flows, where your attention goes is energy flows, right? And it's whatever you focus on that you will get more of it.
Right.
But Mary said like, do that meditation. There's no need to go around and read or listen to anyone technically, but listen to your inner wisdom. And that was the point in that meditation as well. I didn't want to expand into it because it's a podcast episode at the end of the day. It's not about the meditation, but
Yep.
it's not fully about the meditation, I would say, but you can expand on it. So you can pause that meditation and actually listen to you. And that's why I said, like, you don't need to listen to my voice, but listen to your inner voice. And that's more important because your inner voice will tell you where you need to go and what you need to know.
Yes.
And that's how you gain clarity. And people will often say, I can't hear my inner voice. But your inner voice is always loving, is always compassionate, is always understanding. Whereas your fear-based one, it will criticize you, it will bash you up, crush you, make you feel little. And that's how you know the difference between those two voices. Because when it's coming from that inner self or higher self or however you call it, you know it's coming from a loving based one. And it will tell you honestly how you feel and where you need to go. And people often say, oh, I don't know where to go. And that's where, and most of us, we look on the external. That's why people distract themselves with dramas on TV, dramas on the news, dramas in books, because that's keeping you away from your spirit, where your answers are. That's keeping you away from facing your darkness. Because if you want more clarity, go within. Where there is darkness, you feel that it's scary, it is, but that's where you will gain that wisdom, that light. Because I think I mentioned that in the last episode as well. It's Rumi who said that where there is the crack in the darkness, that's where the light come in or something like that, right? And it's exactly that. So where you're feeling like you're down, you can't see any solution, go within. And people are scared to sit with themselves. People are scared to spend time with their thoughts. Because even when you go out for walks or try not to put on the music and just see. If you are going to the gym, for example, try not to put the music on and see how it is. How are you talking to yourself? How are you pushing yourself? How are you motivating yourself? And that's the challenge, right? Like you want more clarity. It's not going out and doing those assessment by just doing those assessment by Brendon Burchard or listening to Tony Robbins. It's not all about that because everyone will tell you the same thing. It's like go within. You know better than anyone else. And that's why we are coaches, because we tend to go guide people back to that, like you're a love coach, right? Go back to that love and go back to that light.
I think it's creating that inner remembrance of who we actually are, gaining the clarity of who we actually are without the trauma, without the childhood experiences, without the relationship experiences, without the family experiences that tend to add the layers. Like I look at it like you've put on coats over the years, just the next overcoat and the next overcoat, and then it does, it weighs you down, b, it also, the voice that you hear, like you say, your own inner voice is pure love, but the voices that you hear are your parents, your ex-boyfriends, your ex-girlfriends, your year 3 teacher, your, the person that you thought that was your best mate and is actually not really your best friend. So I think we make it sound, in some cases, we do make it sound simple to go within, to listen to your own inner voice, but sometimes it takes guidance. Sometimes it takes someone else holding your hand and saying it's going to be okay, because it can be a bit of a, magical mystery ride, like when you're going to the carnival or the show and it's the horror ride and you're scared to go in because you're not really sure what's going to jump out from the closet at you. But that's why we do what we do, because we love helping people realize that it's scary. It really is scary to go back and to look at the events and the happenings in your life and go, how has that shaped me? How has that shaped my human experience? But we're here to normalize that it's okay to look at those experiences and go, I did the best with the knowledge that I had, or the people that were surrounding me did the best with the knowledge that they had. They didn't have the knowledge to do this for me or do that for me or take care of me in a better way, shape, or form. They've done it with all that they had at the time. So we get to gain clarity on our own perspective, because sometimes our perspective can be skewed, right? Like when you've gone through a situation, you're looking at it from the eyes of a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old, and you look at it and you don't really take the full consequence of all the actions happening to you. It's not until you become an adult that you have these boundaries or these fears as to things that you won't step into. And it's not until you start opening up the doors and having a look that you go, oh, so that's why I chose that man to marry, or that's why I chose that friend, because she was here to remind me that I'm not a basket case and I don't need to be fixed. I needed the experience to create a remembrance of who I truly am. And I don't need to stand in the shadow of anybody else. It's okay for me to be exactly who I am. But yes, those moments of clarity can come. For Dava and I, it's normally when we're near water. So whether it's in the shower or swimming at the beach or walking by the lake or doing all of those sorts of things, that's when we gain our moments of, right, now I understand what I needed to know about that. But we gain these moments of clarity. It doesn't mean we won't gain more or a more in-depth view of it, because these moments of clarity are cyclic and they will come back around when another button gets pressed or another lever gets pulled, and then you go, oh, I need to learn about that a little bit more. Would you say that's a fair and accurate description of clarity? That there's levels. It's like a wedding cake, right? One of those big Italian, wedding cakes that has all the different levels and layers. It's like you get 2 or 3 levels of understanding, and then you get to enjoy the sweetness and the joy of that level of understanding. And then something else happens, and then, oh, okay, so there's the next couple of levels, and then you're enjoying the sweetness of who you are at that point in time.
Yeah.
And it's just funny when those moments of clarity come. I've had them even looking in the mirror going, you've got all the answers. What's your problem? Just keep going.
And I think like we all go through that. And I think you raised an important point saying that at the beginning, I feel that we need that help, like some guidance. And like I said, it's scary to go deep within and find those answers on our own. We might feel lonely, like alone, and we might be like, oh, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do. And that's this one step taking, and taking one step at a time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like asking for help. And that's your moment of clarity, maybe in that instant, is like, I can ask for help.
Yeah.
I'm worthy of asking for help. I'm
Yeah.
good enough to ask for help, and that's okay. And that's your first maybe level of understanding, like you said, like, because like I totally agree with that view of like there are different levels of clarity.
Yeah.
Because we we always say like on our chats, it's like, oh, I thought I dealt with that. I thought I already like work on that, did my inner work on that, or my
Yeah.
shadow work on that, and then it come back to you and you're like, really, really, universe, are you serious? Like, yeah, in this moment you won't say thank you, you will say the F word for sure.
You get the
But
double middle finger for that one. Thank you so much for bringing that back to come and bite me on the butt.
it's like a reminder. But I think once you gain that level of clarity, there's, I don't feel that you step back, because it's
Oh,
like
no.
you're more aware of what happened, and you are like, you can recognize it quicker. And I think it's like Gabby said, it's your comeback rate, right? It's like, how quick do you come back to your life? How quick do
Yes.
you come back to your true self?
Mm.
And I feel that in that earlier meditation, that like short meditation that we did, it's like going back to your true self. It's going back to your higher self. And that's what you need to constantly remind you. And people might be questioning like, how do I do that? And it could be like I think I said it last week as well. It's like putting on your favorite music or something like that and just dancing. Maybe going for walks. We are we are well known for that. Like we constantly say we go for walks.
Yeah.
Being in
Sometimes it's
nature,
taking a shower, like just
a cool
clean,
shower.
you
Yeah.
know, like you literally envision whatever's weighing you down being washed away, you know, and allowing your light to wash all of that away. Or another one that, you know, I find for me, I'm needing to cut cords with people that I meet all the time. And the quickest way for me to do that is standing in the shower and stamping my foot like I am pressing the drawback cord for the vacuum cleaner, and envisioning that cord like flying back into the vacuum cleaner. And don't worry, I've been caught out with the cord quite a few times. So need to be mindful about how we draw those cords back in. But
Yeah.
it's drawing our energy back to ourselves and being quick to not end up in that vortex of, oh, this is what they think of me. And no, it's about how you feel about yourself. Are you best representing yourself with love and light all the time? Are you being on, you know, being your best to everybody? You know, we are all human, don't forget. So there are moments where we do want to hear the stabby music and we would like to wrap our hands around people and give them a good old shake and go, really? And, you know, but the problem is the more awake and aware you become, all you see is the wounded inner light of that person. So as much as you want to be annoyed at their humanness, you can and you can't, because then you see that, oh, you're just a soul that needs some work. And you know, you almost want to hand your business card over and go, when you're ready, here you go. And then you go, maybe you're not my human. But that's what you recognize when you see other people, is that their brashness or their roughness or their languaging or how they treat other people, it's got nothing, it has unless you've been a complete numpty, it's got nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. So we need to take those moments, gain clarity that all the shiz that's been dumped on us during the day, whether it's co-workers, whether it's family, whether it's people we've met on the street or bumped into at the supermarket or at the pub or whatever, it's not ours to carry. The only weight we need to carry is our own soul work that we need to do. That's the only weight we need to carry. Everything else can get washed down the drain and released. I know it's hard, and it can be hard to let go of when someone hasn't been kind to you and hasn't spoken to you in the nicest of terms, but also too in those moments of clarity, did you need to be spoken to like that? Did you do something that wasn't in your highest and best? Could you have been better at what you were doing? Is someone pointing out areas in which perhaps you need to do some learning on? You know, that particularly in work environments, I think that those things can get pointed out and they can be taken as a personal attack, and they're not endeavoring to be a personal attack. It's more about, we need you to focus on this area of growth. Don't take it as a negative, take it as a positive, as a space to learn. But own it when you act like a numpty. If you're acting from your own inner wounding, recognize that it's giving you a moment of clarity, that that's what you're doing, and go, that's where I need to do some work.
And once you learn to gain more clarity on yourself, you will know more about with whom you want to spend time with, like what kind of an environment, you know. it's depend like what kind of friendship, for example, or even relationship, like in family and any like co-workers or something. Is like, well, it's like you were saying about that potential client, you know. It's like, here's my business card, but it's not like, you're not my human, because you're clear about who you are and with whom you want to work with. And that's where you gain that clarity. Is like, I'm not going to work with everyone, because not everyone can work with me, or I'm honoring my space, or I'm allowing them to be in my space, because not everyone is like maybe coachable, or not everyone want to be coached by.
But not everybody wants to hear it either, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to hear the trueness of who they can be. Not everybody wants to see their potentiality. A lot of people are just too scared to look, right? And sometimes it's family who don't want to look. It's family who are scared of your light and what you do. They don't have a level of understanding about your awakening and what that's meant for you and how that now looks. And it's okay to love family from a distance, to share your love and your light from a distance. It doesn't mean you have to be on the phone to them every day. It doesn't mean you have to talk to them at all. So long as you hold them with good thoughts and high intention, then you're still loving them, but maybe not in a way that serves you best. It may not serve them the best because they're not getting that constant feed of attention. Sometimes it's better for you, your growth, your development, your soul, everything about you to be separated. Because all these people come into our lives, we chose them as the lessons. You know, for everything that we signed up for on our contract, all these people were put in our path for us to grow and develop and to excavate our potential.
And it's exactly where I wanted to go, like, is I think our family members are the toughest teachers. Like,
That's a percent.
it's like, I mean, like, teachers in the sense, like, what lesson we need to learn from them about ourselves. Like, is it self-love? Is it self-compassion? Is it like focusing on you? and focusing on your own light. And that's what where you can gain clarity is like look around yourself as well. Like what kind of relationship are you allowing? What kind of
Mm.
are you, what's your boundary looking like with others, with yourself? And
But
it's a start because we are looking on the, because since some people are scared to look on the inside, I say, yes, let's start on the outside, right? So look at your environment, look around you. This will tell you how you truly are on the inside,
yeah,
because we know our inner world reflect the outer world.
correct.
So this will give you an idea. And with clients who are scared to go within, I say, okay, let's take a look on the aura, on the outside, and let's take a walk if you want, and look at different areas of your life. Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
relationship, work, money, health, and
But
take
it's
that
our
look.
environment and what we consume, right? Like, and what we, what we allow in, how much of the general news do you watch? What information do you consume online? What type of conversations are you having with people in your workspace? Are you the type of person that stands at the coffee machine and you gossip about other people? Is that the type of, because the thing is, if you're gossiping about somebody else, have a guess what? They're gossiping about you when you're not there. So we need to be really clear about the type of life that we want moving forward, and do our actions support that. The food we consume, the entertainment we consume, the music we listen to, something that to be really mindful is that a tune might be really good, but if you actually listen to the lyrics, what's it promoting? What type of relationships is it promoting? There's so many, and like David said, are we constantly watching, like docu-soaps or dramas on TV? Are we getting wound up and excited because we love the drama, because that's how we've been raised, that we've been fed on an environment that normal is dramatic, and it's not. Normal should be a level of peace and calm and tranquility. And I know that sounds very strange because I lived in a life that wasn't that, and when I got it, it was like, it was almost like a heart attack waiting to happen. But once you experience that drop, and you're not running on adrenal energy anymore, and you can just breathe properly for the first time in your life, then you gain the clarity of, I don't want to watch the news anymore. I don't want to read a newspaper anymore. No one promotes joyous, happy, brilliant occasions. Everybody wants to talk about the negativity and keep everybody at a certain level, rather than, let's talk about the good that's going on in the world. Let's talk about all the positive stuff that's happening in the world. So be selective with lots of things in your life. Be selective with the humans that you surround yourself with. Be selective with the information that you take in. Be selective with the food that you consume. Be selective with the type of movement that you do for your body. Do what works for you now, because what worked for you 20 years ago might not work for you today. Be selective with the humans that you invite into your space, because the people that you surround yourself with is an accurate reflection of who you are. So if you want to move on up in the world, maybe you need to find some new humans.
Yeah.
So there's lots of things to gain clarity on, but boundaries in everything is, I would say, the number one. Be very clear of what you want your vision of your life to look like, and then start building a good, solid foundation.
Yeah. And my suggestion is like, if you want to really get clear about what you want, is like to tap into that masculine side where it's more logical, because you're maybe at the start you're scared to go within, and maybe tap in the masculine and make that list of what I don't want, because people are more know more about what they don't want, because that's what they spend most of their time talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reflecting on what you were sharing, and I realized that at one point on my journey, I have been hearing like people told me that, oh, you're too positive, like you just focus on the positive. And then I started saying like, well, the same you choose to focus on the negative, I choose to focus on the positive, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't ignore the negative. I accept how it is, but I choose what I want to focus on. And it's
Yes.
how Tony Robbins says is clarity is power, right? And wherever you put your attention is where the energy is going to go and amplify. So guess
Mm-hmm.
what? If you're watching the drama, you will see the world as a drama, right? And your life and within you as well. And that's where the mess come. And
Yes.
that's where it get messy, right? With your life. And I would say like once you made that list, like then go tap in the feminine more into that meditation and loving space where you can ask the divine, like, or the spirit, or use that meditation that you just heard at the start of the episode, if that's helpful for you,
Mm-hmm.
and tap in within yourself to understand what you really want. Because it's just about flipping the script. And people don't want to do that because they are so scared of the unknown, because it's just like in that moment where you're in the mist where you can't see anything, you can just see what's the next step you can take, and that's where you need to trust. And I was thinking about that is like with every step I'm taking, my faith is growing.
Yeah.
And that's what I kept telling myself. I don't know, I kept telling myself I can't see what's in front of me, but I choose to trust you, the spirit, right? And with every step, my faith is growing.
Mm-hmm.
It's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And within that moment, like, when I was walking on that beach, I'm going back to that moment. It's like you start seeing the outline, but I know my distance, right? It's a beach I know. So I knew approximately where I was, but I was reflecting in terms of life. It's like you start seeing the outline of the trees, you start seeing the outline of the rocks. And that's how your dream or your true self start appearing to you. It's from
Mm-hmm.
a distance. But then when you walk into that higher self, when you come closer and you're like, oh, that's me, and you get scared again, but that's where you need to trust and say, sorry, I choose to trust in the higher self or my higher self.
Yeah. And surrender, isn't that a word you like to throw at me on a regular basis? And
Yeah.
and and
I'm trying to avoid that word to
surrender.
you.
You can't avoid it.
No,
Surrender, and then surrender a little bit
yeah,
more, because your ego will
that's
want to
our
wrap you
word.
up, and it will want to protect you and stop you from, and tell you all the reasons why you can't, or you shouldn't, or you're unable to. But if they're not voices of love and light, then it's not for your highest purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like David said, have the faith and know that you're moving towards something brilliant and beautiful. And the outline still might be fuzzy for a little while.
Yeah.
But then you step into it and you go, oh my goodness, this is far better
Yeah,
than the vision that you had pictured
yeah,
for yourself. But I think that's one of the joyous things that we get to do when we work with
yeah,
clients is holding that vision and then seeing them have those light bulb moments where it just sort of starts to become a reality for them, and they're like, oh, can I ask for more? like, of course you can ask for more. You've just got to operate on the right frequency. It's like tuning a radio station. So as we grow, we gain more clarity for what it is that we want for our lives, the people that we want to include on the journey. And like my good friend here, we gained clarity very quickly that we were meant to be doing, you know, great things in the world together. We make a very good partnership. And so we're riding the roller coaster in the front seat, screaming our asses off and having the best time.
Yeah.
So, you know, like if you find your soulmates in all versions that they come, it's not just in the romantic sense, it's also in the friendship sense. So when you find those people, it's like magnets, and they will help you to remember the clarity of your vision when you are having moments of doubt, when you're going, it's a bit scary and I don't want to look. They will continue to hold that vision for you and give you the gentle kick in the butt, or, you know, hair stroke and a hand hold, and, you know, pass the tissues when you're having a moment where you need to energetically release stuff that was driving you a bit mental.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful that we stumbled upon one another.
Yeah, yeah. And I still remember, like, when we first spoke, you know, like, it seems like unreal that we are doing a podcast now
I know.
compared to the first conversation we had. It's like, yeah, it's not happening. Like, it wouldn't be happening at all. But then in one moment it like just shifted, and that's when you know you met someone like you said, like your soulmate in terms of friends,
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah, I know you, like I know you, I get you as well. Is like, and I feel that whatever is happening in our life, whatever challenges is, it comes in different form, but we often send like messages or reminders, and that I feel that's what you're saying, like in terms keeping our vision clear, because through those messages and reminders, I know people like tend to spend more time now on reels or something like that, you know, on Instagram. And that's okay in the sense, if you're learning, if you're getting reminded, it's not on focusing on what you, on the dramas, you know.
Yeah,
And if
it's not avoiding, you know,
mm,
like if it's there as a method of support,
yeah,
and we use them as a method of support, and
mm,
then we go, oh, that's a really good idea, you know,
yeah,
or this makes me think
yeah,
of that person. This
yeah,
makes me think that maybe they need a reminder
yeah,
of their brilliance, of where they're headed, of what's
mm,
coming next, or this is a really great idea. Can we do this too?
yeah. And that's what we want. Like, these are the people that you want in your life, that are encouraging you, that are always pushing you to find your vision and to get clear about what you want. And once
Yeah.
you are getting clearer about who you are, you will start attracting those people, and it will come naturally. And you will be like, where have you been all my life? Like, were you like, I know you're in another country, but that's fine. It's like, where have you been?
But you
And
know, you got to wait until you are on the same energetic resonance before, or the same energetic vibration, or you tune to the same radio station
yeah,
before it comes together. And when it does come together, ladies and gents, it's brilliant.
it is.
It's
Yeah.
so good to know that you've got another human that clearly has your back and will clearly not put up with your bullshit and your nonsense, and will clearly pick you up out of the heap when you have done the dark work and think that you cannot continue. They will be there to give you props and go, congratulations, bravo, you're doing the work. It's so good.
It's like, bravo, but there's more to come. Just like gentle reminder.
As he says to me, surrender, Tina, just surrender a bit more. And I'm just like, oh, I want to say, F you, my friend. But I know I can't because I know it's true. So I am exceptionally grateful. And it's been another fantastic episode, as always. So for all those delightful humans that are needing a cheerleader or a mentor or a guide onto that roller coaster ride we call life, then you can find my gorgeous friend at the Heroes Mystic. He is on Instagram and Facebook and now has a fabulous website. So check that out. And you can find me at Dharmas & Co on Instagram or on Facebook.
Yep.
Or if you like, you know what? I'm Tina Ryan. Friend me on Facebook. We always love growing our community. So we look forward to
fun reels.
I will send you funny reels and I will give you divine inspiration. Yeah. So reach out if you need some help. But until then, we love you. We think you're amazing. And keep going because the journey is worth it.
Well, thank you so much for this episode, Tina. And thank you for everyone for listening and tuning in every week. We hope that you gain some clarity at the end, like through our always messy episode. But we feel that
like
there are nuggets, and there are many nuggets in there. If you feel that you want to go back to the meditation, or I know the last week episode, by the time you're listening, there's a lot of nuggets, but I won't tell more. I hope that you listen to. There's plenty of them. And I'm looking forward to hear the feedback, or if you have any comments. And like Tina said, if you want to connect us on the socials, please do so. On that note, thank you so much. And we're looking forward for next week. Have a good week.
Ciao. Bye.